guys. Welcome back to the Attachment Point News Roundtable. Broker Brett here with Jason Keck of Broker Buddha. How are you, sir? Thanks for coming on.
What's up, Brett? Good to be here. Good to see you again. Thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely. So you're in an exclusive club that nobody else would know exists. So I had brokerbrett.com, home and auto, forums, and then I was out of a traditional insurance job for about a year. And I turned into Broker Gizmos and I blogged about a couple companies because I'm that cool. Yeah. It was you, Ask Coach, Rich Genius. I want to say Broker Lift out of Canada. Yep. I'm sure there were others, but I remember you guys. So you're the only person to make it on a Broker Gizmos blog post circa 2018, and then here as well. So
and thank you for on the podcast.
Yeah, doubled up.
Yeah. So love being in the exclusive club. I like exclusivity. Yeah.
As a comparative religions major too, your symbol, I like this guy, this guy's cool, good peace of mind.
We got a little of our own right here. So happy to share. So that's awesome. You might be able to see the Buddhas in the back as well. A little hear no evil, see no evil back there.
Yeah. So. Not a bad vibe to keep around. I like it. It's funny. I got one other guy over on our Eastern philosophy. This guy too.
Oh yeah. Look at that. Good for you, man. Keep the vibes going. Love it.
Yeah, why not? Cool. But thanks for coming on. I've been aware of you guys for a super long time. Nothing's broken in commercial insurance. It's really easy to transfer information. I'm not sure what you're doing as a company. I'm not sure, why.
Yeah. Hey, if you're not in commercial insurance, you don't realize what's going on in the space. But oh man, and frankly, before I got involved, I had no idea what went on. But been here for over 5 years now, and I could tell you there is a lot of opportunity for improvement. So.
Heck yeah. And for the folks who don't know, so I came from the moving and storage world, grew up around a commercial moving company. So before insurance, I was filling out forms in triplicate for interstate with carbon paper. So I come in insurance, I'm like, whoa, they're emailing things? This is great. So that probably helps me keep my upbeat nature. But so what problems are you guys solving? For those who aren't familiar, I know out of New York, I've been doing really cool work for a while now, but how are you helping commercial folks these days?
Yeah, so Broker Buddha is an online platform for independent agents designed to help them simplify the application and renewal experience, primarily for commercial insurance. Mm-hmm. But I would say quite a few of our agencies have started using us to do data capture for personal lines, health and benefits, and frankly, just any kind of online intake that they need to do. So we built a technology which converts static PDFs into interactive online smart forms and gives agents a way to gather information from their clients online and then generate signed documents for quoting and binding coverage. So I like to tell people we do for commercial insurance what TurboTax did for the tax industry.
No, that's cool. And admittedly, I've been distracted working with startups, doing everything else. I'm not living in my business enough. I've seen the platform. Need to get back in, check it out more often. Yeah, I have a couple, surplus lines, not admitted renewals coming up, and the Accords, the supplementals, the PDFs. I'm already thinking of the paper I'm going to print and drive over with a manila folder and scan back.
Look, paper. I think everybody agrees that paper is miserable, but filling out PDFs is one of the most awkward things you can do on a computer. It makes zero sense. And we were talking to an agency this morning. It was actually an agency network, and the guy was saying that he helps some of their agents do placements, and he gets Accord forms that are barely filled out. So, that you have this problem where, people are getting partially completed handwritten applications that are effectively useless and waste everybody's time. So our platform is designed to help eliminate that. And it's great for the clients. It's great for the agents. It's great for the intermediaries, carriers, everybody in the ecosystem. So,
and I've seen the platform. I'm not living it. So promises aren't leading loaded questions or anything.
Totally. Far away.
When I had my personal lines role, my manager highlighted some Accords. So I literally still have saved files of highlighted Accords. And sometimes I'm like, what fields do I need again? And I'm looking at that. And part of my trepidation, or where I've been slower to build my own agency sometimes, is I don't have that old hand in the corner office I can walk over to and be like, hey, what do I really need here? Yeah. So it's cool. It sounds like with the smart forms and everything else, you have some of that built-in intelligence to provide some guide rails too.
Yeah, look, there are some really simple things you can do with technology. I joke about this, but when, the concept of having required fields and tooltips is, probably a 2005 internet concept, if not earlier. but the value of that when you're filling out, longer forms and the importance of getting completed submissions is extremely high because, again, you have information, flowing around, or you have documents flowing around without all the information you need. And it just annoys people, right? It's nothing worse than getting something and be like, you forgot to fill out this section or this question.
No, it gets painful. If you get to like the third or fourth pass of like resending something or rescanning something, it gets like another data stamp on top, it gets awkward. Yep. I've probably done plus minus 200 P&C policies. I'm at like my 8th on life insurance. So I'm going through that right now of like trying not to make it too painful on all parties,
It's funny. We have a guy who worked on our marketing team, and we did some fun stuff out in Manhattan. Pre-pandemic, where we had a camera, and he would go out with like a stack of papers and try to like invite people. Hey, do you want to fill out some forms? like obviously, people were ignoring him, but that was kind of the point. And so, just people hate filling out forms, and so if you make that easy for them, it makes getting insurance a little less painful.
Totally. And, what I've really loved about the insurance industry is I think you can do a genuine good when you do when you do it right, and you can candidly make some money. Like, it's a very upside industry. I worked at a church from 1821. I think in the back of my mind, usually that like taking care of people. And I think when you do it right, you literally are just keeping the lights turned on. But yes, I think
the platform helps agents save money because it's a lot more efficient, makes their agents more efficient. It also helps them grow because they can qualify clients better on the way in and make sure they understand how better to sell to them. We've had some agents who've said that they've won business against competitors because their prospects were thrilled that they had an online interface to deal with their agent. It's like little things like that will go a long way. So, and I know every agent wants to, is always looking to make a little bit more money.
And honestly, like saying their 2005-ish tools is not a bad thing necessarily around PNC. That's probably about right where we're at in terms of technology and uptick.
Well, the tool, I would say it's 2005 features in a 2022 platform. So I wouldn't say that.
No, yeah, sorry. Looks better than that. It's on WordPress, did you say? No, I'm just kidding.
1.0, WordPress 1.0.
But not picking on WordPress either, 70% of sites out there. No, that's awesome. And we're commenting too, just the journey of just being in the game. I'm surprised, like, I started my agency after losing a sales job like 3.5 years ago. And technically I'm coming up on 4 years not having a day job, through helping a few different things. So it's kind of funny just staying in the game, staying independent. It's half the battle is just staying at the poker table.
That's right. That's fun. Living the dream. The entrepreneur's dream. So
exactly. I did kind of creep. So you went to a school that I've heard of before that was pretty good. So that was good to see.
I did. I've been to a couple schools in my life. Actually, I grew up in New Orleans, which is a lot more interesting than going to school in Cambridge.
I was gonna say, it was in that movie Good Will Hunting. I
think right, Boston. Yep, yeah.
So
I did my computer science degree at Harvard in the late '90s, right around the time the .com was blowing up, and frankly, I haven't looked back since. I discovered computers. I learned how to write software. I got into the industry and kind of combined my love of people, processes, and tech into kind of interesting roles throughout my career, and landed myself here, and I'm kind of thrilled where we are.
No, it's perfect. And then it's funny as I'm doing that, I'm like, wait a minute, that was MIT. You went to Harvard,
that's right. I went to Harvard. Not the Good Will Hunting one. Yeah,
I think I referenced it backwards. It's a great movie. But yeah, so I saw Shazam. That's a fun one. That's like in terms of legacy, that, and then Tumblr was the other one that kind of caught my eye. But those are two. If you're playing a trivia game or if you're referencing back to pop culture startups and impactful companies,
Yeah, I had this interesting career. I spent the first 10 years in large corporates, more or less learning how they operate. And, as much as I learned a lot and sort of enjoyed that time, I definitely in my 30s was drawn to more consumer businesses. And I stumbled into Shazam before it launched on the iPhone when I was living in London. And, frankly, transformed my life. I, got to work on a product that was super interesting, was fun, was music related. And, having spent 10 years in corporate, the idea that you could work on something that was kind of fun and personally relevant to you just was super life changing. And so had a ton of fun there. Did a couple of my own startups, spent some time at Tumblr trying to, let's just say, turn that ship around with a team that maybe wasn't as motivated as I was. And so after
I had a Tumblr site some point. I forget why.
Yeah. I mean, apparently I saw an article the other day saying that it's coming back with Gen Z.
Oh,
So
wow.
apparently WordPress, who bought it,
Oh, wow.
sadly, Tumblr sold for 1.1 billion to Yahoo, and then Yahoo sold to Verizon, and Verizon sold it for $3 million to WordPress, which
Dude, we could have
just,
got that scratched together. That's within reach.
yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think they had to inherit a lot of liabilities with that, which is probably one of the
that's a good point. So those Tumblr sites. No, but that was, it's funny. I consider myself a quasi like Luddite. I'm 36. I avoided a cell phone as long as I could. They made me get it when I was youth pastor at 18 in case something happened. Remember like pieces of notebook paper with like phone numbers in my wallet. It was good to grow up in that time, But I feel like Shazam was the first app to make these things like kind of magical to a degree,
Oh, for sure. It was the first ad that Apple did with another brand.
Oh, wow.
Ever, right? Because they basically were marketing the App Store and saying, get the iPhone because you can get apps like Shazam. And when they put that on, wow, that was game over. Like the company just blew up from there. So our service crashed. I think pretty sure our servers crashed that night.
I'm trying to think, like I was probably 23, so like 13 years ago. But I remember even just going to Santa Barbara on a road trip and a friend turned on Google Maps, and just being like, wow, like it just got interesting,
I think it was 2009. The iPhone launched in 2008 and the App Store launched in 2009, which is we were there on day one. So that's super powerful. Yeah.
No, it's been fun. And I think, there's still such a tremendous time period. I have a good friend who's a really strong agent, and he's like, I want to do this right now, then I want to do this, and then I want to get involved in startups. I was like, don't wait, man. Like, help them out right now if you can on the side. I think we have this 10-year window where the way Broker Buddha is doing things is just going to be how it's going to be done in 10 years, and like change takes a minute. The hard seat you might be in is the guys who are really killing it today don't pay attention to what they could do or how their processes could be more efficient sometimes. They're not playing with us on Twitter, they're not messing around on LinkedIn, they're just out there doing their thing. But I do have a feeling, who's making it easier, who's making it quicker. Small businesses can grow to medium business can grow to large. I like the seat you're in to grow with the growing brokers, as opposed to how it's been done.
Yeah. I mean, the platform, like I said, it works for any line of business, any size of business, anytime you need data capture. We've had, interestingly, more success with larger agencies because we found that they tend to have more operational infrastructure. So they actually have kind of middle management people who can drive technology adoption and change. Whenever you're trying to implement workflow changes or process changes, you really need somebody kind of saying, hey, we've decided we're going to make a change and we're all going to do things. We used to do things this way, and now we're going to use this technology. We're going to do it this way, and it's going to make us better. There's always a little bit of pushback. There's a little bit of like, no, we like the old way. And so we've had a lot more success with kind of mid to large agencies, but we're helping them with their small business, personal lines, commercial lines, all sizes of their clients. So
yeah, I've always found change tends to come from the middle. As much as I kind of have my little ramble about small, but if you're too little, you're kind of clueless. You're tripping over your own feet. Myself guilty as charged. And if you're too big, you just think you're golden, and why change what's not working? But yeah, it's those ambitious kind of middles that tend to be really fun to try to get.
Well, they can make quick changes. They can make quick decisions. They're motivated to grow, right? And they have the resources, and culture in those companies tends to be a little stronger than your large corporates. So yeah, we have some fantastic middle market clients, and they're loving the platform. So our usage doubled 2021 over 2020. So from a growth perspective, things are headed in the right direction. And we're starting to work more with carriers now on integrations and data.
And luckily, I mean, the whole industry is kind of waking up to being open. The past 2 years really kind of showed the importance of, utilizing tech. Not to say anything mind blowing. I may be wrong. Were you guys part of Broker Tech Ventures? Do you go through that program? Cool.
We did. Yeah, we went through Broker Tech Ventures. It was amazing.
I think
incredible program.
Were you in there the same times like Talage? Those are buddies of mine too. Yeah, I thought so. For some reason, I thought I saw you in that cohort. But that's a great group. I know Heffernan's always been on the ambitious side. Those are kind of the closest teams that I know in there.
Cool.
But yeah, that's a great pod to connect with.
We spend a lot of time with the team at Holmes Murphy and Connor Strong. Some of the new agencies that have joined Unico and Partners Group are also clients of ours and supportive of what we're doing. So we've got a kind of a strong core network of agencies there that are using the platform, and They've got a partner network as well for bringing carriers in to work with companies like us. So we've had some success with that in the last couple of years as well. So it's good.
You guys are fine. You did that. You got the right contacts. Now we just hang it. Now we just kind of keep going down the road.
Just wake up every morning and it all takes care of itself. It's
exactly. 9:05. We'll be fine. 4:30. See you later.
I wish it were that easy. Yeah. No, we had like I said, we had a fantastic 2021.
Cool.
Doubled usage on the platform, much more engagement from our agencies and our clients. Feedback's getting better, products getting better. Still a long way to go, but one thing I think is interesting about the commercial insurtech space is that almost everybody's focused on small commercial because everybody's like, we got to find a way to not touch this because it's so time consuming and the value is frankly not as good as obviously large commercial, right? Yeah. And so I think we found an interesting niche being able to support specialty lines and middle market submissions in a way that candidly nobody else is doing. And so we're actually helping agents with a size of their business that they really care about and giving them a workflow solution that makes it better for their clients and better for them. And so I think we did imagine one day we would end up in sort of a commercial rater solution space. So something like a Tarmica or a Semsi or a Talage. And, I don't know. I find that agents, they want a solution for small commercial, but their willingness to invest in it is limited because it's just not that, the business isn't as important to them. So actually, I think Talage's approach makes a lot of sense because they've actually got an end-to-end, customer through the broker to the carrier experience that for the most part takes the agent out of it, when they don't need to be involved. And I think that's the right path. So.
And not to get too philosophical, but I've always that for the most part with them, the agent still binds it because I like guardrails. And my thought on the D2C stuff was I at least want to know okay, they can't buy below a 50, 150 policy if they want to. We need to have a conversation on personal auto. Yep. Where I think small business gets underappreciated for a little shop like myself is you can do their personal lines too. You can sell them life insurance. So that's where it kind of gets slept on. It is, obviously the monies aren't huge, but usually good folks to work with. I like what your approach. So kind of get rich in your niche, help out those peripheral lines. I was around a CRM AMS project for a little bit, and one of our ideas was to go in through marine or aviation, something that never gets touched, never gets built for, and try to cater to those.
Yeah, a lot of tech companies are line of business driven. They're like, all right, we're going to do, BOP or GL or cyber or management liability. We've been very workflow driven. So, across line of business, across size of business, but focused on the connection between the broker and their insured. As we start to look at the carrier world and how do we build connectivity, that's where we're starting to think, okay, which line of business do we focus on first? Because to build a really good experience, you need to integrate with as many carriers as you can and provide a good experience. So that's where we'll probably go line by line is when we start building out more carrier functionality. But the ability to acquire submissions across all lines of business is what's given us the success we've had.
That's cool. No, it's fun. And just to your point, the two renewals I have coming up, one's an AI driven security camera and the other one's flight school. And they're just fun dudes to talk to. It's fun to get the update, and nice. I don't want to bug them for, send over this PDFs, whatever else. It's just a lot. The relationship's cool. Hearing about their companies is cool. All the other stuff. Yeah.
The underwriters still need the information to do the underwriting. So you still got to get it to them somehow. And that's your job. So you got to give them the best tools you can to make it happen. So
I'm gonna plug my buddy Andrew Carell with the Insurance Requirements podcast. But the way he summed it up as an underwriter was who are you, what do you do, and who do you do it for, and how do you do it? And I thought that was such a cool way to kind of wrap your arms around what they're trying to do. It's really just data and painting a picture, trying to put some confidence on the other side of the table.
Yeah, they say that, but then they want the second level of detail. Okay, that's great. Well, now I have 10 more questions to really decide whether you're are
you working over 20 feet? Are you working on a dock?
Right.
Do you own any airplanes?
Is this 5,000, 10,000, or 50,000? Right. That's the next set of questions. So but yeah, there is that kind of initial qualifying, do I even care about this business? And then there's all right, just give me all the details so I can get you a quote kind of thing.
I try to be a good agent. I try to run through the questions I'm supposed to run to. I did do a life insurance application this morning, and it's Do you have cancer, diabetes? Da, 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 da. I just have to run through your 40 questions.
No.
Just mumbling. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Do your job. You're doing the right thing. Your training is paying off well. So
yeah, we're trying. No, it's a scary industry. I mean, what we're putting out there, these contracts, we have our $1 million, $2 million E&Os for a reason,
Yep.
So it's cool.
Who do you get your E&O from?
Just Hiscox. I'm a little guy. I keep it simple right now.
Yeah. I mean, that was always an area that we when we send agents like, hey, your E&O application could be like this. They're like, oh, really? Hang on a second. It's like a good way to get their attention. It's like, oh, that would be much easier. Wait, can I use this for other lines? Yep.
That's cool. I like that. Yeah.
Yep. So
that's funny.
That'll be one of that's one of our sales tactics. The other is we go through to CFOs, because the other ones are often filling out the forms. So you go to the CFO of an agency and you say, hey, you know how much you're doing your insurance sucks, right? And all the forms you have to fill out, it could be like this. And they're like,
I like that a lot, actually. And so we're 20 minutes in, so nobody's paying attention at this point. So we can
I can give away all my secrets.
Yeah, no, but that's actually a great idea. Selling, selling to agencies themselves, like selling into them, and then being like, "Do you want these cool tools for yourself?" I love that. That's great.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, man, we've had a fantastic run for the last 4 or 5 years, and I've got big plans ahead. We're I think likely raising capital the first half of this year, so getting ready to start working on the marketing for that and the materials around it. But I think with the results we had last year, it's going to be a no-brainer, and ready to take ourselves to the next level. So.
It's been fun. Fineo is probably my most involved project. Let's say like a cover wallet, but for life insurance, critical illness, disability for financial planners.
Yep.
Out of Toronto, we launched the US last year. These things are interesting. It's you're gonna have your sprints, you're gonna have your stress periods, you're gonna have your relax periods. It's very seasonal, and I don't know. It's interesting.
When do people buy life insurance? What's the season for? I'm curious.
Basically, at this point, if I see somebody like buy a home or have a baby, I feel like I at least have to offer it just for my own like mental well-being.
Totally. Yeah. That's when I got mine, when we bought, actually it was when we were buying the house. So we bought a condo about a year ago, and I was like, we should probably get this taken care of.
It's just nice. Peace of mind. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it could be strategic too. My favorite combination, I have a friend who's done pretty well in real estate, and we did a $2 million death benefit and a $300,000 whole life policy. So it was around $180 a month. No, $130 for each policy a month. So saving some money, and it's got the death benefit there. 20-year policy, just had a baby. So you're not going crazy. You're not trying to sell people $1,000 a month, whatever. It's just save some cash, worst case scenario, and let's go build some stuff.
Yeah, you can relax and get on with your life. So
we got to meet in ITC. I always love it. So usually this is my first conversation with people, but we got to meet in person there, real briefly in passing.
Yeah.
Was that your first ITC, or had you been there kind of pre?
I've been to a few of them, actually.
Cool.
Yeah. Typically we go to ITC, NetView. We used to go to Apply.net until we got kicked out by them. That was fun.
You did something right when people start having problems with you.
Yeah, they're like, we don't really want you here anymore. You're too competitive. We're like, all right, that's fine. I get it.
I think that's a good sign, though. Yeah.
It's like, there might be some antitrust around that, but I think Applied had to go through some antitrust when they were acquired Easy Links. Didn't they have to get a review when they did that? I'm pretty sure they did.
I wouldn't be surprised.
To look at it.
We are pretty late into this. Yeah, 2 10,000-pound gorillas just taking turns swooping stuff up.
Yep.
But, yeah.
So cool. Well, hey, this has been fun, man. I really appreciate you having me on here. And I've got my own podcast, but I haven't been on somebody else's in a while. So this is a nice treat.
There we go. If you ever need filler, if a guest ever drops out, I'm available. Last minute.
We'll get you on. We'll continue the conversation for sure.
I like it.
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jason. We'll talk soon. I'll keep an eye on Broker Buddha. And where should people find you? And how should they check out the company? All that jazz.
Anybody wants to check us out, brokerbuddha.com, www.brokerbuddha.com, or email me at jason@brokerbuddha.com, and love to tell you about the company, show you what we're doing, and talk about how we're changing the insurance industry. So get in touch. And thanks for having me on the show.
Of course. Well, thanks guys for tuning in. We'll catch you later.